Talked to a friend recently, actually just yesterday. I saw his story of how God had loved him and freed him. And he began to tell his story of God's amazing grace on a YouTube video. And I said, this was so good. Like, it was just a snippet, but there was enough there that, like, man, I got to know the rest of the story. I've got to find out what is the rest of what has God done for you. I gave him a phone call. And I asked Ryan, he began to tell me, like, I know this much of his story. I said, Ryan, would you tell everybody that tomorrow? And he graciously agreed to do just that. So would you please give a warm welcome to my friend Ryan Gallo. Ryan, will you come?
Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Gallo. I love that face. Thank you. So today I was asked to speak about God's grace and peace over my life today. So first, before anything, I would just like to say thank you to God for another day. Amen. To breathe and try harder for His glory, not for mine. It's not about me, it's about Him. So, on my homeless journey, there was a day in Philadelphia, nice sunny day in Philadelphia. Regular day, people doing what they do, going about their day. For me, it was a regular day, but I was the one sitting on the ground. I was out front of a Subway, panhandling, for about 3 or 4 hours to get $1 to go jump on a train to go get high. Now, while sitting there, you just see people going about their day, the rush of life and how it hits you. It hits all of us the same, no matter if we're homeless or a regular person in society. We're all equals, and life hits us all the same. So while I was sitting there, it was 3 or 4 hours, I didn't receive a penny. All I needed was a single $1. So I'm sitting, waiting, thinking it's never coming. So I put my head down, holding my sign, and suddenly a man appears, comes up, walks up, out of nowhere. He asked me my name. So I raised my head up to tell him my name. And I said, my name is Ryan. And after that, I asked him what his name was. So this person that I'm speaking of was a regular person in a white 30 t-shirt, white painter's pants with a Sherwin-Williams logo, low top, white shell top Adidas, with this haze around him. He then tells me his name is Jesus. And then he goes, you're gonna need this. Hands me $1 and tells me everything's gonna be okay. I took the $1, I lowered my head, and when I went to raise my head to thank him, the person was gone. He had vanished in the middle of a city block. I don't know if anybody's ever been to Philadelphia, but the city blocks are a little strenuous. So there's no way this man could have made it in less than a minute off of a city block without me seeing him. You know, I didn't find him, so I went about my day. I got on the train, went and got high. Not to even think about it that much after that either. But now, fast forwarding to now, looking back on that moment, that was the greatest, biggest, hidden but visible blessing he could have ever given me. Prayer life is important, and I was not a believer. I didn't have a prayer life, but he seen my prayer sitting down on the ground, and he came. Now, from a worldly perspective, it took 3 or 4 hours for him to come. But when you have understanding of who God is, you know, his timing is perfect. That's what I needed. I needed that 3 hours to sit there for him to come and show himself to me. So I've been saved for about 3 or 4 years now, give or take. Give or take, because numbers don't really matter to me. It's just I'm serving him, and that's all that matters. My first thing, what I do when I wake up every morning, no matter what time it is, if it's 1 a.m. or noon, the first thing I do is I jump up, thanking him for the first breath I get to take on my own. Not the breaths that he gives me while I'm sleeping, but the one that I get to take, and I'm thankful for that. Because I don't know if anybody here has ever looked at the numbers of people that don't wake up every day. I don't know the exact number. I know it's not 0. And that's enough for me to say yes to him and keep serving him. So to go along with the biggest hidden blessing and visible blessing, we have a chance every day of a new start. If you play PlayStation or Xbox and you don't save your game and you turn it off, what happens when you turn it back on? You start at the beginning of the game. So every day I get a new chance at life. I start at 100, and it's my determination where that goes. Nobody else's. And God's glory and God's grace over my life have given me the ability to live out like that. His love for me, you know, that was over 6 years ago. He was relentless, chasing me and hunting me down. Everybody talks about him as the healer, but he's a hunter because he wants our love.